It's Bo Barker, and this is another VO podcast. It really is another VO podcast.
Hey guys, what is happening? Welcome back to another VO podcast. We have
another one.
Wonderful hosts with us today. We got Troy Holden, we have Alden Schoenberg and Jacob Sanders, and myself, Charles Coates, and we welcome you to our
I think in the world of VO, I'm Jake Sanders.
Oh, yes.
What did he say?
Jacob.
Jacob. I mean, that is my name. That's what it says in the corner there.
I know.
So, if you were reading off
your
Zoom script, yeah, you.
That's
call
what
me
it says
Jacob.
when you message us. You know, it says Jacob.
I know, and that's the thing is like I have friends that call me Jake growing up, but and some of my folks call me Jake. You know, some of my relatives, my dad, my mom, or whatever. Like, hey, Jake. I always introduce myself as Jacob, and it's not because I have a preference at all. But I thought when I started doing voiceover and I was trying to do the whole branding thing, I was like, "That's Jake's voice. Jake is more fun than Jacob. Jacob sounds a little uptight, in my opinion. Jake's all like, yeah.
Jake's like, Daddy, Jake.
Yeah.
And it's like, hi, my name's Jacob.
Jake says things like, that's dope, and calls everybody Doug. So
Then what does Jacob say?
Jacob talks in Old English.
Oh, that's right, yeah. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. I don't know.
Hello, my name is Jacob.
Yeah.
I think that's spectacular.
Come hither.
Yeah. But anyway, this is not about me. Let's get back to it.
So I have a couple of fun facts to start off our episode today.
We'll be the judge if they're fun or not.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, you can't just be claiming things like that.
That's right.
I better have a blast.
Yeah. Now they're going to be super unfulfilling. Like, those were not fun at all, Charles.
It's all the
Those are
setup,
just-
man. It's
those are
all in the
just-
setup.
He set himself up here.
Yeah. This day in 1877, Wimbledon began. It was an all-England croquet and lawn and tennis club, and it began its first lawn and tennis tournament at Wimbledon, and then an outer suburb of London. 21 amateurs showed up to compete in the gentlemen's singles tournament, the only event of the first Wimbledon. And the winner was to take home a 25 guinea trophy. And I didn't know what a 25 guinea trophy was. And a guinea was an ounce of gold, a coin. And so 25 ounces.
Wow.
So, I mean, it was pretty awesome. Or was it 1 guinea is a quarter of an ounce? All right. Well, that's a significant difference. Next fact.
It would be.
Did they also win the right to rename it to Wimbledon?
Did I say?
I think
what
it's
did
a
I
D,
say?
not a T.
Yeah, Wimbledon, like a town.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
it's Wimbledon. It's
I'm over
Wimbledon.
the hill. I live
Welcome
over
to
there,
Wimbledon.
Yeah,
Whatever's easy.
Wimbledon.
We play in
Wimbledon.
Yeah, sorry. Anyway,
You know what a guinea is in the South? It's a bird.
It's true. Yeah.
We have guineas because
Yeah, there's other derogatory terms for that too, but
Ooh, yeah, we don't want to go there.
Probably.
next fact, on this day in 1941, the Enigma key was broken. Right? So Cracker Jack
Is that
British,
why it's not on my keyboard anymore?
I guess
That's
so.
correct. That's correct. That's what that blank space is
Yeah.
next to your
Right.
space bar.
Yeah.
It says Cracker Jack British cryptologists break the secret code used by the German army to direct ground-to-air operations on the Eastern Front. Kind of cool.
That is cool.
Yeah. Kind of cool.
Well, now,
Okay.
as far as fun goes,
Yeah.
no.
Interesting, yes. Fun, you know.
I don't remember
you
saying
know.
Yahoo. No.
Yeah, you know. So kind of what I wanted to talk about today was kind of our first half of 2024.
I guess we are
Right.
halfway through, huh?
Yeah, it's the halfway point.
Wow.
And yeah,
This year's
nuts, right?
Blazing by for me. What about y'all?
Yeah, same, kind of blazing.
Yeah.
The second half's going to go faster. I got to
Yeah,
feel.
yeah.
You think so?
That's the
Yeah, I
scary
do.
part.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I kind of
I
hope
do.
so because I'm
I
ready
think-
for fall. I'm like,
Yeah, I
get
think
here already.
you guys had a lot going on the first half, and I think I got a lot going on the second half. My first half was quick, but this second half's really going to go.
Yeah.
it's gonna-
So on that, I kind of had some questions lined up for you. First off, is it what you expected?
No. Not at all.
So tell us more, Jacob.
Hmm.
Well, first of all, I mean, like, I think how rapidly and I think I got burned by 2022 because 2022 just kind of like had this weird die off period for me when I had
Yeah.
a great 2020 and an even better 2021. I was like, okay, so I mean, like the way I'm heading, I should do better than 2021. And where 2022 came along, I said, no, you're not.
2022 was like, hey, no.
Hey, that was an
No.
accident, you know? Yeah, but anyway. But 2023 was all right. It started to pick up at the end. But I mean, again, I've said this multiple times in episodes this year. I've had a really great beginning to my year. I booked the most I've ever booked in a month in January, I believe, or at least close to it, if not a little over. But then that kind of trend kind of kept going. I've done really well every month except I think March was my dead month. But other than that, yeah, I've done pretty well. And then as I said before, I had a really interesting job opportunity come up that I just couldn't pass up that allows me to keep doing voiceover in pretty much the same capacity. I've not seen any interruption to my day-to-day activities because of the new job. So, I mean, I'm just very grateful and very fortunate. And yeah, I did not see that coming whatsoever because this opportunity kind of just fell into my lap.
Yeah.
But again, yeah, so that's where I'm at so far.
Okay. Very cool. Yeah. I mean, we plan one way and life does its own thing.
Right.
I think that's
Yeah.
everything we do, you know, and we just have to adapt, and there's some things we can't control, you know, and there's great things and hard things, you know, that pop up throughout our journey, not just VO journey, but life too. Right. And life is intermixed with our VO journey. So life can happen, you know?
Yeah.
So how about you, Troy and Alden? Was it what you expected or?
Yeah, it's for me, my expectations went way up because the first couple months of the year were fantastic. You know, I'm mirroring Jake a little bit in that way. My January was one of my best months I've ever had and beat all of my months except for one from 2023. So I thought it was going to be a sign of things to come. And then I had a sickness in March that was, I don't know, it was kind of a flu bug that just didn't go away. And I had to turn down some jobs, and some of those clients have not contacted me back since then.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because one of them was an automotive commercial that I was working for, and pretty faithful, once a month or two a month I was getting from them. And after March, I said, man, I can't turn it around quickly. I'm sick and I don't sound right. You know, you wouldn't like the product, and I don't want to give that to you. And I haven't heard back from them.
Have you tried reaching out again?
I'm going to. I need to try again. Yeah, reach out.
I was going to
just
say,
hey,
like,
what's
you know,
up?
just, you know, let them know you're back at the grind.
Yeah, we're ready to rock
So,
and
you know,
roll.
so the last few months have been slow, but I also started a new job at the beginning of June that's a part-time and gives me, you know, I was upfront about my business with them, and they want to be clear that I have flexibility to do whatever I need to do to keep my business running and do
that's awesome.
what I need to do there. So, however, it's still, you know, you can't be two places at once.
Sure.
So it's been a challenge to keep the business, especially the marketing side of things, going, which I was just in this transition of how I was going to do more marketing. So it may take the rest of the summer for me to get everything set up, and then really put the nose back to the grindstone in my marketing issues.
Yeah.
And that's probably why I've seen a slowdown the last several months.
Well, and also, I mean, because you had mentioned you've been sick, but like that sickness, like you had that gunk for a while, a while.
Well, and I thought I was better, and then
and then you
4
got
weeks
worse
later
again.
it came back.
Yeah. So that's always tough, and you had a kick in the teeth because your AC went out.
Yeah,
and it's like, nothing
all
else.
that money I made in January and February gone. Now it's blowing as cold air through my house.
I was gonna say, but now you're sitting in comfort. So
is that why it's cold hard cash?
Yeah.
That cold hard cash and pay for the air conditioning.
Point.
What about you, Troy?
The year started out kind of mirroring the end of last year, and you know, January, February, March, it was good. You know, I was working with my base customers. I picked up a few new things. April was awful, the worst month in 2 years, and then May, June were fantastic. I've picked up some really good new clients who are repeat. My regular clients have been really pumping stuff in. So, I mean, it was really 2 of the best months that I've had over the last, over the 2.5 years of full time. It was 2 of the better months I've had that didn't have some big single project. I had back in December, I had one big project that really pushed me way up in December, but May and June was just like all this consistency across the board. I mean, and it was a mix of pay to play and direct and whatever. It was the normal percentage mix, but it was way above, like double what I was normally doing. So if that would continue, that'd be great. But I look for July to be a little slow. And then as we roll into the rest of the year, you guys are talking about AC going out and this, that, and the other. I mean, I've got a remodel going on here. We've refinanced. Yeah, we're refinanced. And down here where I'm at, this room is a utility room, and the floor is going to be raised up level with the rest of the house, which means Troy's got to go. So I bought a 6x6 vocal booth. It was an older booth, a 2010 model in great condition. It was the vocalbooth.com gold version. And I got it set up in a bedroom, but I've got to run some ventilation to it. I've got to get everything set up. I got to run a cat cable back there so I'll be hardwired. So it'll be a couple of weeks. And then once I'm out of there and all this construction starts, then I'm going to have to work around that crap because, he's going to be in the bedroom back there redoing a bath, and every now and then he's ripping stuff out and there's noise. So I just got to deal with it. And, I hate to say it, I'm just worried about that because of the second half and with everything going on. And then my wife is going to have multiple spine surgeries. One of them is July 22nd, and the next one will probably be in September or hopefully before October. And, of course, she's out on leave and whatever. But, we got all that going on. So this second half is probably going to fly and be highly stressful. And I'm just hoping, I can keep everything together until we're done with all of it. This wasn't how we planned it, but
sure,
it's just not how it works.
It's never how it's planned.
You pivot and you do your best. And I was not going to buy a booth. I was going to actually move out into my shop, which would have got me away from all the construction noise. But the cost to bring in another 200 amp service, to probably have to bring in another internet service, and the internet guy said, I just go out here and cut a ditch and run a cable in a 6-inch ditch and run it onto the ground. It'll do fine. And I'm like, yeah, but what if, we'll put your repeater out there for wireless. No, I can't do wireless, and that would have been more than buying the booth and ventilating it. And then I got to thinking, well, if I want to move back down here after the floor's up, I can, and then I can just sell the booth. And then it's a wash, so you try to think about that, because if you build a studio and in 10 years, you move or you leave the house, how many people around here want a house with a studio in it?
Yeah.
Probably not many, so anyway.
I would.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We all would.
Well, sure.
But what are the chances?
Oh, I get it.
For me, I think it's been a good first year. Same, I think
First
that
half
April,
of the year. This is not your first year.
the first half of the year.
Man, if you had a first year like that, Doug, shoot.
Yeah.
And it was the same. I had that same dip in that month. Was it January, March or April? Yeah, Like it was just like, what happened? It was so weird.
You are no longer good at voiceover.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Right.
I know. It's like, oh no, I suck now.
Oh man,
The market is telling you.
Yeah.
the market would tell you when it's time to get out. You
Yeah.
get a
It's
ride,
like-
but you're done.
Yeah, because it was telling me, it's like, you got to go. But that kind of hit us all kind of at the same time, which was interesting. But the rest of the year has been good. Had a lot of direct, had a lot of
Did you have your biggest job so far this year? Like single like
yeah. So in all of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
not yet,
Just
so
in
far.
June, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
it helped me to go to Yosemite over the 4th of July weekend. It's, I already got a couple demos lined up, a couple coaching stints lined up. And
Ooh, can we ask with who for the coaching?
not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
I can give that information up when I officially book them.
There you go.
Because
There
now
you
it's
go.
like now the funds are there to book.
Oh, you
to book
haven't
them.
booked, but you got something in your sights.
Yeah.
Oh
Gotcha,
yeah, like
gotcha.
soon.
Yeah.
And some of the coaches are directly tied to the type of demos.
Mm.
More to come on that.
I know who it is.
I think so too.
So, yeah. So that was going to be one of my questions. It was kind of what's one of your biggest VO business wins for the first half of 2024? You know, and it can be a range.
Mm-hmm.
It could be from biggest order, like most impactful voiceover that you did that really meant something to you, anything like that. You got all your marketing stuff in line, whatever that is. What would you say was one of your biggest VO wins for the first half of 2024? And anybody can jump in on this.
Honestly, I think mine, like the first thing that comes to mind is that I've booked 3 agency gigs this year, and
Nice.
I've had agents for, I think I've had at least one agent since 2021, and I've been, and since that, and in that time, not counting this year, so 2021 to the end of 2023, I had gotten one paid callback, a handful, and I'm no more than 6, but no more than 6 like on holds,
Mm-hmm.
and then one actual like booking, and it was an internal gig. I mean, like, I'll take anything. I mean, I say I'll take anything. I mean, like, the job was still through an agency, so it was cool, but obviously
Sure.
when I think agency gigs, I think like commercial gigs and stuff like that.
Sure.
This year I've booked 3 agency gigs, and they all had to do with advertisement, commercial, and stuff like
That's
that.
awesome.
And they weren't necessarily national campaigns, but it was very little work for a very decent amount of money. So that was my goal in getting agents, was getting access to those kind of jobs. And for that reason, that's the first thing that comes to mind as far as my biggest or best accomplishment.
Kind of
this year.
win. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome, because that's when you win an agency booking, you're like, I got
Right.
one. Like,
I
you
feel
just
like
have that
those are
feeling of
the-
like, you're just fishing. You've been fishing
Yeah.
and fishing and fishing. And then you're like, oh, bam. And you got
Yeah.
it. Like,
That's
good
kind of what I
feeling.
feel like, right? I mean, like, and I'm not putting down booking
Sure,
booking on pay to
sure.
plays or anything like that. That's great feeling too. But man, when there's something about booking an agency gig where you're like, okay, so like I am a voice actor, you know what I mean?
Right.
Right.
It's because of the competition. You
Right.
look at the roster and who's on the roster, and they all were in there fighting for that.
And it's not
too,
even
man.
just
It's a
necessarily
big
on that
deal.
who's that roster too. Like, you
It's
don't even
the
know the
other
other
rosters.
agencies that you
Right.
don't know either, you know? So
Right.
you don't know
Right.
who all submitted that. Like,
Yep.
here's the thing. There's probably people out there, like, if you're booking jobs, there's people out there that you'd be surprised that are auditioning for those jobs, that in terms of like, wow, I'm competing against them, and then wow, you won against them. You know what I mean? You
Right.
don't know that,
Right.
and that's kind of unfortunate. It's cool. It's a good thing, I think, because then you don't psych yourself up too much if you know. But
Right.
you would be surprised to find out who you got the job over. You know what I mean? Like, in those situations, and that can be kind of comforting.
Yeah. On that aspect, it's really cool because with Celia Siegel, we brought up in a meeting one time, like, what would be helpful to you guys, and they brought something back that they did before, and they would for whoever's managed by them, they get an email, and it's once a month, and it's like, hey, these were the auditions that some of our that the people on our roster booked and won, and then they play their audition.
No, that's helpful.
So there's a big file of things that went out through CSM that month, that booked, and you get to see. And the cool thing is, a lot of them are ones that you audition for, because it's it comes out to,
So you get
the
to see
people.
who got the job that you did, essentially.
Yeah. You get to see you get to, but the key is you get to hear what won the audition,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And
Oh,
so
no, I get
that's-
that. I get
yeah.
that. No, I'm just
I
saying.
almost got to have something like that last couple of weeks ago, and I won't say agency or anything, but they accidentally did not put a normal Dropbox link. They put a link to the folder.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
And you could listen, and you could listen to all the auditions.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it had the
Yeah.
people's names, of course. They were all named.
Yeah.
Right.
And,
Well, yeah.
and I
'cause-
went through and listened, and I was shocked.
Yeah.
a little bit.
Of how good everybody was, or the
No.
differences in everybody,
and
or?
how reedy. And now, because we hear the casting people say all the time, only a handful of them really connect to the script.
Right.
And when I
Right.
listened to that, man, could I hear it.
Yeah.
And I was so surprised, and it almost makes you want to go off in your room and sit in the corner and go, "Am I doing that? I bet I sound just like
Hey,
that."
hey,
But I
if we-
literally played mine back and listened to some of the others, and I thought, no, I didn't. I wasn't as bad. I mean, mine wasn't the best out of the ones I listened to, I didn't think, but I
Mhm.
was very surprised.
Yeah.
And they were names that I knew, which was what really surprised me.
Sure. And I think a lot of times, I'm sure you guys have probably done it. You do an audition or you do a recording and then you listen to it the next day, right? You have
Oh,
some
yeah.
time, your brain settles down.
Oh, I should have done this differently.
And then,
It's like,
that's a
and then
Friday.
you listen to it and you're like, what was I thinking? Like,
Yeah.
did I think that was good at the
You
time?
gotta,
Like,
gotta let that one roll. Gotta let it go.
Yeah, we're like,
It has
well,
to-
set it and forget it.
That's a Friday
yeah.
routine
Not-
for me.
not gonna-
Sometimes
not
I'll go
gonna win
back
that
and
one.
listen.
yeah.
I'll
Right.
do that on
Right.
Friday.
And then you get shortlisted for it, though. That's the thing. You listen back to that and you're like, man, I just wish, why did I do it that way? And then you get shortlisted and, okay,
Yeah,
well,
it's like, well, maybe.
Yeah.
maybe
I
I think
like that.
I think it's
Something
easy
like
for us to have a critical ear of ourselves,
Sure.
especially in reads that we feel like we could have done it a different way. But you just have to make a choice when you're in that audition.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I would say, so we're doing the wins. I would say for me, the first couple months of the year, having good success for January and February, because that was followed by, I ended 2023 pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
So my December was a good December, was a good month. And then January was also an even better month. And then February was close to December. And usually I'd have a big month and then then go back to the norm. And then whenever I have a big month, go back to the norm, and to line them up back to back to back, felt like, okay, this is really going somewhere.
Yep.
And emotionally for me, that's probably why the slowdown feels even worse this time, because we all have those seasons where it slows down for us. And I feel like I've gone back to the mean, back to the average of where I had been before I had the good months. That is not sitting well with me. But I have to look back and see that when I started the year, things were really humming along, and that was because of the work I'd put in. And I've got to put that same work back in again to get back there and beyond.
Yeah, but I also think too. I mean, like July. I mean, at least for me, I started in 2020. I'm in my fourth year right now, and outside of last year, which last year was totally weird, summer has always been slow. June, July especially slow. August might pick back up. I mean, like, it depends. I think in 2022, August was basically dead, but like 2021, 2020, when August hit, especially 2020, people were ramping up for that political stuff. And I mean, like, I know there's already political stuff out there, but I mean, like, it's going to ramp up again because they're going to be doing these last pushes and they're going to be these local spots. There's going to be, I mean, like, I think political could be, pick up again. We'll have this quick little burst before November starting in August.
Oh,
again.
yeah.
So I mean, that I'm interested to see how that goes. But I think right now it does feel like that because I mean it's dead for me too. Last week was a holiday week, and I think in some reason I got the feeling that the week before, leading up to the week of July 4th, I think people were taking off early.
Yep.
I don't think there was as many stuff I don't think there was that much stuff going on this summer for people, to like actually like do work right up till July 4th. I think people were like, I think because of where July 4th was located on the calendar this year, everyone kind of like was like, you know what, let's take an extended, period off. So that's the impression I got. But I totally feel that though, Alden. I mean,
and
where starting off good and feeling like
and where all of us were sensing that slowdown about the same time. I don't know about you, but I wasn't seeing as many auditions, especially from agencies, showing up in my mail in my inbox. So it may have been an industry-wide slowdown that was happening, and who knows, whatever way the wind blows to cause that.
And this was actually the reason I chose to go on vacation when I did, because I looked at last year's, looked at last year's orders, auditions, this and that. And I remember my wife was like, last year, like the week, that July 4th holiday week was just crickets. It was dead. So she's like, if we're going to do a, what's it called? Let's do it during that time. And it worked out great. And here's the great part. I know I've said it before, but like the core word in vacation is to vacate, right?
Yes.
And I emailed all my agents. I use it as an opportunity to email my direct clients, just to tell them, hey, I'm going to be out of pocket starting this day, but I'll return on this day, on Monday. I'll be ready to rock and roll, but I just want to let you know. So if you have anything that's urgent, we have about a week. I can get those in and record them for you, whatever we need to do. And then on the way, if there's anything that's close to the line, I'll be back on the 8th. And we could do any pickups or anything like that. If that works for you, I just want to give you a heads up. And I sent those emails off. I kind of put out of office on all my other accounts on everything. And then I just enjoyed my vacation. Like it was great. Like
That's
I
dope, man.
literally just enjoyed my vacation. Didn't worry about any things. And then I did lose a job on Voice 123 though.
Because you were gone?
Because I was gone. Yeah. I did lose a job.
You know what though, Doug? It's not like, oh no.
Yeah,
Like, I would be like, oh no, but for you, like,
Right.
Right.
I was like, it was only like 5,000, whatever.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Wow.
No,
yeah. You heard it here,
No,
folks.
it wasn't 5,000. It was,
You
it was,
heard it here, folks.
it was like a
We didn't want to
$500
tell
job.
you, but Charles
So I'll
said
tell you who it's for. It was a $500 job for a little spot for AG1.
Okay.
I definitely don't know who that is.
Yep. AG1, the one that does, Joe Rogan always talks about, I take AG1 for memory and mental vitality or whatever.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah. And so, it was
Is
that.
it Joe Rogan or is it Joe Rogan's AI voice?
I know. It's Joe Rogan because he says it on his show.
I'm hearing.
You remember
I'm hearing
who
a
took this
lot of.
AG1?
I don't know, man. Yeah, it might be. But I did lose that. And they were like, hey, just following up. And I was like, oh, I'm out of town, this and that and the other thing. I'll be on the 9th. And I wasn't like, hey, wait for me, I'll just wait for me and I'll get it to you. I just told him, I was like, hey, I totally understand if you need to go to somebody else. But I thought my vacation messages were on and they're like, oh yeah, I did see that now, after the fact, but they needed to get it done. So, and he's like, I'm so sorry, but our time limitations, I got to go with somebody else. I was like, hey, totally understand. That's part of the business. I
Keep
appreciate
me in
it.
mind.
I was like, keep me in mind.
I'm going
And
to
he's
suggest that like if you haven't already, just shoot him an email at some point. Just like, hey, just want to let you know I'm back in the studio. If anything
I already
comes up.
did.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I
Because
already
was gonna
direct
say,
messaged him. Yeah.
All
And
right,
he
that's
emailed
my
me
man.
back. Yeah, he emailed me back and he was like, yeah, no problem. And I was like, we really liked your voice and we really liked the way you connected with scripts and stuff. So
that's Chuck.
I was like,
for you.
okay.
Yeah,
That's
we're
no-
always the last in the
Mhm.
chain. And a lot of times, like you said, I've had guys, I got booked on a thing on voices.com one morning and they, we need this by 2:00 this afternoon because it's got to go into production and it's actually airing tonight.
Whoa.
I've had that happen. Yeah, I've had that happen before. And there are stuff, it's that fast. It's crazy because they just wait and wait. Because and I think with a lot of them are so many legalities they got to go through this approval, that approval, this approval. And by the time they get to us, everything's approved and, all they're waiting for is the voice. And if it fits, and they run with it. But
Yep.
something else.
Great.
Something else.
So we have a pretty big conference coming up.
Oh
It's
yeah.
gonna be here in Dallas, Fort Worth, and it is OVC OneVoice 2024. That's in Dallas. It's August 8th through the 11th. And the venue is the Hyatt Regency DFW Airport Hotel and Conference Center.
Nice.
So,
I got to volunteer last year and I get to volunteer this year. So
Nice.
I am going to be there if you guys, if anyone's going to be there. And if they weren't going to go, I'm sure they were going to go now because over the week we found out that the One Voice nominations were released and Troy got, well, let's see, Charles, you got 2 nominations, right?
yeah, I got 2.
Yep.
But
And
Troy,
Troy got 6
Rolling 'em in.
nominations.
6. I couldn't believe it, man.
He's going to be newcomer of the
awesome.
year in his
No,
fifth
that
year.
one. That's
I'm
the one I
just kidding.
stepped out of.
I know.
That's the one I stepped out of.
If you've been following along on Facebook,
That
there
was
was
a
a
hiccup
there was
there.
a snafu where Troy was nominated
Yeah.
for newcomer of the year.
There was
Troy-
there was some wording in there, some weird wording about your first professional year or whatever, and I thought the way it wrote or was written, it was okay. And then after I went back and reread it, I sent an email that day
Yeah.
to Hugh and everybody there, and I said, hey, you guys need to pull me out of there because that wouldn't be right. I don't truly qualify for that. I am a newcomer in a way, but based on what it said in there about a paid job, I haven't been paid. I was paid before 2023, so that's
Yeah.
not fair.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Off
no.
and,
Yeah.
You're a
and,
stand-up
they
guy.
got me
Everyone
off.
knows it, and everyone who
Yeah,
was
I
commenting on
wouldn't
your
do
posts,
that.
they were like, "Dude, you're totally good. No worries." But 6 nominations is still
Yeah.
good, including
Including
voice artist of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Male.
Yeah.
Male okay, sorry, male voice
the
artist of the
male.
year. My apologies.
I can't talk like a lady.
Well, right. Well, that would be female voice artist of the year. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but yeah, each are obviously equally important. But still, I mean, in this instance, we are talking about the male. But that's amazing, dude. Like
It's crazy, man.
I
I just
bet,
couldn't
dude.
believe it.
I
I couldn't believe
bet.
it. I'm still shocked, and I'll probably still be in
Sure.
shock when they're announcing it, And I'm one of those people, I don't expect to win anything. I really don't. I am so honored to be nominated.
I think you got
It
a
was-
great shot at winning at least one.
Oh,
of them.
Oh,
maybe,
yeah.
maybe. But it was so cool to call and reach out to the clients whose spots got in because, and you guys may know this, there were over 5,000 nominations sent in overall.
No, I did not
They
know
are
this.
they are all listened to anonymously. Nobody knows your name. They may know your voice if they hear it, but they do not know
Sure.
your name or who produced the
I
spots
did
or
not
anything.
know that. That's
Mhm.
amazing.
And they are looking at, especially on the video stuff, the TV type stuff, the political stuff that was a TV ad, and
How
that's
they
where
all
2
work
of mine
together.
got on. Yeah, how it all tied together. So it was the visual, the audio, the production was everything that made that spot really good. And that was why I thought, hopefully the Cadillac spot, which I love with the horses running up in Lexington, and it was during the Kentucky Derby. And I thought that's a really nicely done spot.
nice.
Maybe
dude.
maybe that one will do well. And that was the one I hope would get picked. But to get more than that picked, I was blown away. I mean, the
What did your
political
clients
thing,
say then when you reached out to them?
they were excited that I put it in, and a couple of them were like, well, one guy said, I wish you'd use the name of the company instead of my name. I said, man, it doesn't matter. We can be sure all that's cleared up when they, when I get there. But they were really excited and thought it was neat to be nominated, and they didn't realize there was even a OneVoice Awards.
Right.
They
Well, I
didn't
mean,
even
if you're
know
not
what
in,
it
if you're not in
was.
that aspect of the industry, it's you kind of don't think about those things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I told him, I said, this is, to us as voice actors, there's the tellies and there's other things, but I said, as voice actors to us, this is the one that is, because it is very indiscreet as to who it is. They don't
Yeah.
know who the person
Yeah.
is. They pick the spot. You go into the thing in the finals and you get voted into the final 10. It's pretty darn neat because we don't even know until after it's over who that panel was, who's
Right.
on that panel.
Right.
And that
It's
will be
pretty
very
special.
interesting. It is to me. It's,
So
it
I'm
is,
curious,
because you
the
weren't
OneVoices
singled
are
out.
no payment nomination, correct?
Yeah.
No
it's
payment,
just
nomination,
Wow,
no
that's
fee to
great.
enter.
That's
put in a
excellent.
nomination.
The trophies are free.
Well, I hope to have something to
and-
submit sometime. That'd be great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hugh even said this morning on they had him on a live thing on Zoom that he said, even if you don't show up and you win, we'll box up your trophy and send it to you free.
That's
Don't
cool.
worry about
That's
that's
amazing.
dope.
Cool for
Yeah.
him.
Pretty
Good for,
neat.
good for them. I mean, yeah, but I mean that's gonna be awesome, guys. I mean, and on top of that, Troy's talked about it before. He's gonna be doing a breakout, but I don't know if he knew this beforehand. I know you know now, but we haven't talked to you about it. But Troy's gonna be on a panel too.
Yeah,
He's gonna
I
be
had
on a
no
panel.
idea.
Really?
Yeah,
I had no idea. Yeah, with
I
Brad
didn't even know
Howland.
that.
Roy's going to
Yeah.
be on a panel. It's
Yeah.
going to be is it the working voiceover panel? It's something like that.
It's like
isn't
a
it?
working voice actor thing, but it's called In the Trenches, and it's
In the Trenches, right.
And what Jay Michael said on the post was, these are people that are booking the heck out of stuff. And I
Yeah.
kind of felt bad. I thought, yeah, I am. I mean, I'm booking
Doug,
well.
I think you're booking
but
more than you think
it
you are
is.
compared to
and,
others.
and that's the thing.
You know what I
Yes,
mean?
I
Like,
I'm
agree.
always
I
I'm
agree.
always comparing myself to things that are way above
which
what
we're
I
not
should.
supposed to do.
But when I looked at who's
Yeah,
on
be
the
careful.
panel, when I saw what was on the panel, I thought this would be great because Alice Everdene's on there and Brad Highland and I don't remember the other names, but Michael Scott's hosting the panel.
Yeah, I know.
And it's in the big main
Oh,
room,
I know where it's at. Dude. I know
which is
when I saw
crazy.
that thing, I was like, dude, Troy's going to be up there. I'm going to try to sit in there. I might have duties going on, but I'm going to try to sit in there during your thing.
I messaged Brad yesterday, and Brad kind of said, well, I guess they think we're booking everything. I said, well, you are, but
yeah, for sure.
But it'll be fun because they're going to hear a really good different perspective from everybody, because
I think so.
How I go about my stuff is way different than what a lot of people do. And that's what I'm teaching in the talk, the 50-minute.
Is your panel before or after because your panel's on Friday,
panel's after.
Right? Okay, wait, so your class is on Friday night, right?
The class is Friday, like at 5 or 5:30 during the demo panel, which isn't great, but that's okay. And then I think this thing is on Saturday afternoon before the awards and everything, this panel.
Yeah.
That'll be a good one. I think that's going to be a pretty well-attended one.
Right.
Yeah, I think it will be too, because people want to know, especially newer people, is how do I get the work? And, here's people that are apparently booking a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to get different perspectives of, online stuff, direct stuff, pay to play, agent, whatever. They're going to hear a lot of different things. And I guess that's the kind of thing they're going to open it up for Q&A and people can ask. So
and with that panel, there'll be a good variety of answers, and
it'll be fun. And I think
perspectives.
what they'll typically do is they'll have a question and they'll run down through everybody in the panel and everybody answers.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be fun. They'll get some good perspective from a lot of good people. So, I was blown away. I had no idea I was on a panel.
Right. Yeah, that was really cool to see, and I was really happy for you. And I honestly, I think that's the first thing I've said to you about it. So I'm sorry, because we all talk every day.
Oh, it's okay.
So I'm sorry for overlooking that. Yeah.
No, it's not.
Well, it was,
I'm just some boob that got in the voiceover that got, I won't say got lucky. I have worked hard at it, but
you have.
I'm just somebody who applied everything I learned the last 30 years in business to this business.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that I've always believed is you build a team around you of people that know freaking more than you know.
Mm-hmm.
They are either better at it or as good at it, or they support you or whatever. And those are the people you connect with and hang with. And then you invite other people in to try to keep learning the same way and learning the right way. And you won't go wrong doing that. You're helping other people, you're helping yourself, and you're learning from the best. And I believe that is one of the keys to success. So I've just applied all that into voiceover, and not in some great way of I'm the very best at this. I don't ever mean that. It's just that I'm just trying to do it the right way and apply it the right way for me.
Yeah.
It won't work for you guys because you don't go out and market like I market. You don't target the same things I target. But I do it for me where it fits me. And then I surround myself with these people that do it better or do it right. And then I pull from all
You
of
learn
them.
from them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just like they learn from you, I'm sure. You know what I mean?
And I just want to pay it forward. That's it.
You know what, though? This episode and you talking about that kind of gives me an idea. And I know we've kind of tossed it around here or whatever, but since we got 3 of us going to OneVoice, I mean, I used to be dope if we could have Alden come too. But why we should try to do a live episode, or I guess an episode just from OneVoice. And because we've talked about how good I say how good, but just what our experiences have been in the industry, and especially just this first half of the year, maybe if anyone listening is going to Dallas for the conference, maybe we can have some of you guys come on and tell, just a little bit about your voiceover journey. So other people can
that's a great idea.
So other people can hear from them that listen to the podcast, okay, so these are actual other people that are kind of in the trenches, so to speak, kind of in line with that. So, okay, so why don't we do this? We'll do some of the logistics planning on our side, but if you guys are a listener and you are going to OneVoice Dallas and you think you'd want to get on the mic with us just for a couple minutes and kind of tell us about your voiceover journey, and we'll do maybe I don't know, 2 to 4 people or something like that, depending on time, how much we got. I know there's going to be a lot going on, but I mean, if that's something you guys want to do, email us at anothervopodcast@gmail.com. We'll probably do us a little vetting. What should people include? How many? What do you think?
I would
Charles?
say how long you been in voiceover? Are you full time or not? Let me see what.
Which
else.
is okay. That's not a requirement. If
Right.
Time,
just to kind of help us.
Yeah.
Just to help us.
Engage.
I think that would be the 2 biggest things.
How long you been in voiceover, whether you're full time or not, and then just maybe how your journey started, and how what are things you're doing to pursue voiceover and make your business work for you.
Maybe they can put in there something like a struggle or something what's one thing that you find that you're struggling with.
I need to get us another VO podcast banner that we could maybe hold up.
Put up? That'd be
have
sweet.
at
That'd
a
be
table. Dope. And we could literally through iPhone, iRig, and bring in a shotgun, people could just walk by, and even if they just want to walk by and say, "Hey, I'm so and so. I'm here at OneVoice having a great time, and I love the podcast." And
even if that's
anything.
Yeah. You want to be on our bumpers, guys? Go ahead.
Yeah, we'll put you on.
There we go.
That'd be cool. Yeah. So just send us an email right now. That way we can kind of plan more of the logistics of it, and we'll look into all that stuff. And there'll be more episodes out between now and then. But this is the first announcement of it. This is kind of the trial thing. We're going to talk more about it and hopefully have information. But already, if you're listening to this now and this interests you and you're going to be at One Voice Dallas, email us at another VO podcast at gmail.com. And then we'll see if we can get you on in One Voice. We'd love to meet you guys just because.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I mean, we see,
that's a cool idea.
Just like anybody would, we check our numbers like weekly to see who's listening and whatnot, but we don't know who you are. We just see you as a number. So if you're 75, come introduce yourself. I don't know.
I
don't mean your age.
For everybody else that's listening, I personally don't look at you as a number, so it's cool.
That's not what I meant. Anyway, do we got anything else, guys?
But if your number is 75.
Yeah, number 75 especially.
I think we're running up on an hour already. I think we covered a lot of information. Our first half of the year has been good. It's been great. It's been scary. It's been trying. So I'm just gonna say, I mean, first of all,
real life, man.
Right? Yeah, it's just real, dude.
Yeah. And let's say this: it's summer. It's hot. People are busy. People are slow. We got a lot going on. Don't be disappointed if we're not popping something out new every week. It gets harder and harder some weeks as we get busier, and we may slow down a little during the summer if we need to. But we'll keep updates out there on the Facebook page, the VO Life, another VO podcast Facebook page. Go there and look, and we'll update you as to when we're recording and getting stuff out. And we apologize if you really love it every week. We thank you for that.
Man, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's just so hard, and I don't know, with this move, I don't know when. It may be a Thursday, Friday move. It may be a Saturday, Sunday move to get out of here, whatever. I'm hoping this will all go smooth to get moved to the other room. But, we may have to skip a week here and there, and don't get upset at us. Some of us have other things to do.
Yeah, this has been a year of change.
You guys are working. Yeah,
you guys are working.
Sure.
That's the word right there.
And it's funny, out of the four of us, two have kind of picked up something else to do to help fill in, and it's all working out great. And then the other two of us have gotten busier on the other side, and that's working out great. But then we've also got other things going on. So, just like we've talked about on this thing for over a year, it's a fight, it's a struggle, it's a jog, it's an uphill battle, and
it's different for everybody.
Yeah, it's different.
It is.
But you know what?
Sometimes it's not evident. Look at this.
Yeah, sometimes it's nice though, because you got to struggle on that bicycle up the hill, but then every once in a while you get to kind of go down the hill and just kind of cruise a little bit.
Let your feet off the pedals.
Yeah.
Right, and I gotta admit,
and enjoy those moments,
I got to admit, during the last few months with my wife having all these doctor's appointments and this and that going on, and at first I was worried to death. We're running all over the place. I can't get anything. And I had two of my best months, but I was here the least amount of time I've ever been in my studio.
That's
a great feeling.
And that is a great feeling.
Yeah.
And, but the thing is,
right there.
Yep.
Those are hours you weren't doing that other stuff to prepare for those future months.
Yeah.
And that worries me that if it slows down, I'm going to say it's because I wasn't here in June and July sending out those emails. I wasn't marketing hard enough. And that does affect it. But the thing is, here we are a week, 9 days into this month, whatever. And I look at the first week and I'm like, I'm pretty much where I was last month for the first week. So, if things pick up and stay okay, it'll be fine. And that's where we always talk about build your base, folks, build your base of people and have them coming back to you repeatedly and treat them like gold. If they're good clients, hang on to them and kick those suckers to the curb when time comes. You have to deal with them.
It's hard when you're first starting because you're like, though I got to keep those.
You don't want to lose any paying jobs for a while, but the time will come where you go, I've got to cut bait with them. I got to let it go. I need more time to do this or this, and it'll work out. It'll work out.
Yeah.
I mean, you just got to trust the process. It's hard.
Yeah.
But anyway.
All right, gentlemen. Great episode. It was really good. Really good hanging out. And 2024, I always say, like, the windshield is bigger than the rearview mirror.
Yes,
right?
sir.
So keep your eyes on the big window and don't focus so much on the little window.
For
Right.
sure. Yeah.
But
No.
Why?
that being said,
I'm just kidding.
Why?
that being said,
Goober.
have a great week, guys. We're going to kill it. We're going to smash it. And I'll see you guys in our accountability group soon.
All
Sounds
right,
good.
man.
We haven't
Sounds
met in
good.
weeks.
Yeah, later.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of It's Another VO Podcast. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. You can also email us your questions to anothervopodcast@gmail.com or follow us on Instagram at Another VO Podcast. See you next time.
Hi, I'm Mandy Fisher, and you're listening to Another VO Podcast.